Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the fray, and the home of the brave?
Good evening, everybody. Here I am again on the Freedom Network. It's Gary right here with you to talk politics and have a fun time yelling and screaming about what aggravates us about the current state of our affairs. All opinions always welcome right here on the Freedom Network. We are live tonight taking emails and calls, all that information right there on your TV screen. Whether you're getting us locally on 191 or anywhere online, we're glad that you decided to join us tonight. Boy, the weather's getting hot. I mean, it's getting hot out there, and it's going to get a little hotter for those of us in Massachusetts. Hey, before we start the program, I wanted to talk about something that's been aggravating me a little bit lately. So I'm going to talk about it. It's very local to us. As a matter of fact, it has something to do with the parking lot here at the television station at NCTV Studios. I drive in, and what do I see? They have out front a couple of donation boxes. And those donation boxes are for shoes and for clothing. And you put them in, and a charity comes and gets them and helps people. It's kind of nice. But as I've been driving in, what I'm seeing is crap is what I'm seeing. Trash type things, couches, blah, 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 chairs, whatever the heck it may be. Come pick your crap up and get it out of there. It's not a dump. The heck is wrong with people? It's illegal dumping. That's what it is. It's illegal dumping. Now, let me let you know a little hint. It's a television station. There could be cameras, right? I think at a TV station, you may want to just kind of watch what you're doing. Spread the word if you're from town. Enough is enough. Look, at that spot is for donations. It's to go in the provided boxes. It's aggravating me to see it there. It's shoes and clothing, folks. That's what it is, not couches and chairs. Now, the charity is paid to remove this stuff, which means less goes to charity because you're costing the charity money. So I want you to, if you're from my town, spread the word. Let's figure out what is going on here and stop it. Just stop it already, will you? Stop it. All right. TimOrGary@gmail.com is how you get to us. We're on Facebook. Just email me for links. We'll do a few quick emails. We'll get right into the program. You can certainly email in or call in if you do so desire, if we hit on anything that may tickle you one way or the other. And like I always say, all the opinions are welcome. So don't worry about what they are. Just get them out there. All right, Larry, great show. That last guy last week was great. We'll be voting for him against Moore. Yes, that was Mesfin Begier is who that was. He was quite a guest, very animated, very into what he's doing, talks about the issues, seems to speak pretty well to me, to be honest with you, on the issues. I like a lot of what he had to say. I don't think you'll ever agree with anyone lockstep on everything, but he seems to have a lot to say. I do, of course, continue to send the offer to our Senator Moore. More than welcome to come on the show at any time. Always equal time is offered. If you both would like to come on the show, we could have a nice, fun, respectful, and lively debate, I am sure. But I do think that the senator owes that to him in some type of a forum. So I look forward to that. And that also goes for any public official or persons running for office in the town, state, nationally. It doesn't matter. You're always welcome. We've had a few inquiries, actually, and we'll be getting a few people lined up for you, as we have in the past. Any party, any issue, any opinion, it's always welcome right here on the Freedom Network. All right, thanks, Larry. Peterson. Hey, Gary, thanks for the Obama and Clinton info. You just put it out there. I also do not understand how people can follow Hillary so blindly. I don't always agree issue to issue with you, but you do make some sense, and you make things plain and easy to see. Thanks for doing the show. Peterson, it's my pleasure. Thank you for joining the show. Believe me, it makes it all worth it. Margaret, she emailed in to yell at me. Gary, your politics stinks. Hillary is the best thing going and the most qualified for this job. You want to live in the past, embrace the future. The Constitution will be changing more and more. Oh, Margaret, this is very, very, very scary stuff. Let me ask you a question, Margaret. Did you support the big O, Mr. Obama? Did you support him? I bet that you were part of the crowd that said his lack of experience was refreshing. I bet you were. His lack of experience, I'm sure you said, was refreshing. I find it very scary, Margaret, how easily people are willing to give up their freedoms. It's very scary, but nonetheless, Margaret, you're welcome out there. I'm glad that you're out there. That's fine that you have a different opinion. I'd love you to call in. We could certainly debate the issues back and forth if you'd like to. Oh, great. Oh, that's good. I got something interesting to show you guys, too, about UFOs. We'll get into that in a minute. Hang on. All right, Sam, let me just grab one or two more here. Sam says, where is Sam? I've lost Sam. There's Margaret. Yeah, and Margaret, you can email, too. I get plenty of, I'm going to tell you, I get emails probably about 80-20. Sometimes, some weeks, 75-25. Some people love, some people hate, but you're listening, you're out there, you're viewing, and that's what's important. So, Margaret, you're always welcome. You're always welcome in our house, Margaret, even though we know you're a far-out loony lefty. That's okay, Margaret. You stay right where you are. We're happy to have you, too. There's Sam. This show is cool. Just found it, and I like it. You are so correct in your assessment of today's government. Thanks for doing the show. No problem, Sam. Happy to do it, and the reason I do it is because we have great people out there like you and Margaret and Preston and a bunch of regulars and some that we hear from as far as Texas out into the middle of the country and all over the Massachusetts area, and of course tons and tons right here from where we broadcast in Northbridge. So have you seen that on the news lately? A couple times. I grabbed something from Channel 5. They just loaded it up and in so that we can feed it in, literally, as I've been speaking to you. It seems to be that there may be some UFO activity. Now, I know you're saying, Gary, we know you're out there, man. I mean, we know you're out there politically, but are we really going to go to the UFO world? Well, there's how I feel about UFOs. I think you'd have to be ignorant, I think, personally, to think that there's no other life anywhere. It's just here. And this is the only place, and what we don't even know is out there, but this is the only place. You'd have to be a little bit ignorant. There's got to be something out there. Now, whether they visit Earth and they visit farmers in the Midwest that aren't and there's some brilliant farmers, let me tell you, but they always seem to pick these crazy and weird people and stupid people. I'll just say it. I don't care. To me, that just seems like it's all baloney, a bunch of baloney. But at the same time, it seems as though we have had some weird things going on recently. I'm not pulling your leg. I found this stuff it was on all of our local stations right here. I mean, I even found it on Channel 5, which is where I just grabbed the link from. Troy, can we play that? Let's play this. Watch. It's just real quick. But I think there was an ad in that link. Did you get through the ad? I don't want to play somebody else's ad. See what you got. If you can play it, let's play it.
UFO spotters believe they may have caught a UFO entering the Earth's atmosphere before NASA's International Space Station's feed was inexplicably cut. In the video, you can see what appears to be an object descending down onto Earth, and the feed is cut just before the object can enter. And this is not the first time the ISS livestream is cut out when an unexplained occurrence has happened. Like in this video, which took place last year, an object is slowly ascending into space before the feed is interrupted. And some are saying that the object may be the Chinese space station Tiangong-1 returning to Earth, or possibly just a simple meteor. A spokesman for NASA put out a statement denying NASA technicians advertently shut down the transmission when UFOs appear. NASA claims the loss of video is usually due to the loss of signal from the ISS. For Viewer, I'm Josh King.
What do you think? I mean, that's NASA's camera. It just seems to shut off. Why? Why does it shut off? And like they said, it wasn't the first time it happened. Now, we didn't doctor anything up, I swear to you, and I don't usually cover these kind of topics, but this one really grabbed me because it was kind of all over the news, if you will. Very easy to find. You can Google it. You can Google anything, by the way. Anything that we talk about here, I can send you links if you want them. I've had requests in the past, and I've sent them. And then if you don't get exactly what you want, folks, email me back, because sometimes they come in, there could be 12 or 13 different emails, and I'll reply real quick and say, here's one or two, let me get you a few more, and more come in. And, you know, I got a job too, you know, and a family, so I got to make sure that we try to balance it out. But I do answer each and every single email, at least with an initial. If you don't like what you hear, just get back. Just get back to me. All right. So, talk about Bernie Sanders fans. You must be appalled. You must be disgusted right now. I hope that you realize that your new religion of socialism and safe places and success is bad and everybody is the same and no one should be any better than anybody else and all that unhumanistic and non-reality type of stuff was built around a big fat lie. Yes, a lie. Sanders is the establishment, just as Hillary is the establishment. And he proved that this week, didn't he? I did not agree with most of what Bernie Sanders had to say. Politically, I think he's out of his mind. Certainly not a good politician for the United States of America. But I did respect his self-created and now known to be false outsider status, okay? In the end, he's a fraud. That's what he is. He's a fraud just like all the others. He's just a big government fraud. That's what he is. That's what he is. You know? Sanders supporters, they got a big wake-up call. And now I want to see what they're going to do with their wake-up call. Will they fight and look at Johnson or somebody else, anybody? Or will they retreat to their safe places, never to be heard from again? What will you do? I know there's Sanders supporters out there. What are you going to do? Are you throwing your hands up and saying, hey, I'm done with it? I'm done with politics. I'm out of it? That's what they want you to do. If you are a believer in they, and you think that they are controlling things, and you think for 2 seconds your disengagement is any way to say you know what to them, you're just kidding yourself. You're taking the easy way out. It's time to double down and fight harder. That's what you got to do. But I understand a lot of Bernie Sanders folks, they don't like the defeat. No one's supposed to lose. Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody's exactly the same. So you don't know what to do when you lose. Well, I'm going to tell you what you do when you lose. You get up and you fight back and you fight back harder and you try to learn from your mistakes. One of your mistakes would have been supporting Sanders as somebody that was going to do anything but either win, and that would have been great for him, or fold. And I told you folks months and months ago, that this guy, when he loses, because the establishment's not going to let him win. We knew that from day one. Hillary started out with hundreds and hundreds of superdelegates. So we knew he wasn't going to win. Anyone that thought he was going to win was just misleading themselves. And the fact is that your intentions were good, but your guy lost. Okay, good, your guy lost. I've lost so many times, and I've won so many times. So what? It doesn't matter. When you win, you enjoy it. You go for the ride, and you know what? When you win, you don't always get what you want. I mean, I voted for Bush. All right, the first term, I didn't really have a problem with Bush. I was a little leery of some of the war engagement that we were getting involved with after 9/11. But I did figure and give the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, let's see what happens. I mean, I get that we are fighting a war on terror. I certainly and completely understand that, you know, we were attacked by Japan. We didn't retaliate against Japan right away. We went and took Europe back first. Wars are strategic. So I said, you know what, there's good minds on this, right? Smart people, good war minds, if you will. And I'm going to let them, let's see what shakes out of it. Well, by the second election, folks, I had no choice. I had to vote for Bush again. But let me tell you, I became increasingly upset with him, and to the point with the expansions and the NSA, and then his stupid stimulus, followed up by Obama's. To me, he lost me probably after about 3 years. I was done being a Bush supporter, if you will, but I certainly wasn't going to go and vote the other way because of the same reason that I'll probably wind up voting for Trump in this election. Because I can't vote for these known criminal type of politicians. I would rather take a different kind of criminal than a criminal politician, and I don't think Donald Trump's a criminal. I think he's a bit of to be honest with you, I don't know what he is. He's a Clinton donor a few years back. He's never been a real conservative. He certainly, absolutely, positively is folding on the gun issue. He's already indicated that he's going to, folks. That's a done deal. So he's not your Second Amendment savior. I don't really know where to kind of go with him. I'd like to see Johnson spike up there a little bit. I don't love him either. I don't love any of the people that are in the race, but I would absolutely positively love to see someone from that, more of that outside. You know, we have been so extremist in the past 15 years or so. Everything has been extremist, way on this side, way on that side, and the sides have now blurred together. So there really are no sides anymore. It really doesn't matter. I mean, you get a guy like Trump that's a big, you know, he's a big Democrat donor. He's going to get the Republican nomination. We're going to talk about that. But it just makes absolutely no sense to me, none whatsoever, where people follow Hillary. I just do not understand it. If you're looking for social engineering and all that kind of stuff, maybe she's your person. Maybe she's your person. All right, we'll go on, but let me grab a call. We got one on the air. Let me do the right thing with the right button. Good evening. You're on the Freedom Network. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Gary? This is Mesfin Bashir.
Hey, it's Mesfin. How are you, Mesfin?
Good. How's everything?
Everything is great, my friend. What's going on?
I was listening to you about Donald Trump and Bernie and Clinton. You know, I was listening to you.
Yes.
And I know you said he's not a criminal, but as you know, even if he's a Clinton supporter before, he responded to that question. You know, he's a businessman.
Yep.
You know, people who do business.
Sure.
Who do business, you know, they have to do whatever they have to do in order to make money at the same time, give a job for the people who they are working for them.
Yeah.
So it's understandable, you know. So just because, you deal with certain group of people doesn't make you that you are those group of people.
Well,
you know, in my work, I dealt with many, people who are not really good, you know. But that doesn't mean that I sell out my soul or principles for them. What it means is in order to do things what I have to do, just like helping the people I'm helping in my organization, I've been dealing with many people,
sure,
who are not just and right. But doesn't mean that I have been doing what they have been doing, donating for them, hanging around with them, getting a party with them doesn't make him that he's them.
Yeah,
so
but Mesfin, I gotta, Mesfin.
Donald Trump, do I agree with him 100%? No.
you know, Mesfin, here's my take on it. Okay, every successful person, all right, doesn't have to go to the. See, to me, we're talking about the president of the United States, right? So I'd like there to be some character, which is where I completely have to leave Hillary's world. There's no way I could vote for her. But but I will tell you, the principles do mean something. When you're looking to lead the world, in essence, I mean, we used to be the leaders of the world. After 8 years of Obama, we're no longer the leaders of the world. But if we're going to get back to that status and be the leaders of the world, I want someone with immense amount of political character. And you know, if his so he's going to have to deal with all kinds of people. So is he going to make deals with Iran on nukes? Is he going to, because he's got to go along to? Is he a go along to get along guy? Because that's not what I want. I don't want to go along to get along guy.
You know, Gary.
Yeah.
Look, you know, this is a republic, right? You know, each of us have you know, a responsibility to vote.
Yes.
You know, if we're trying to overthrow the will of the people, if the people voted for him,
yes,
that's what this America is all about.
Yes.
So if we're trying to overthrow what the people want, you know, we are becoming like a Soviet republic or other tyrant regimes.
It's funny, Mesfin. I 110% agree with you. As a matter of fact, you'll be happy because the next thing I'm going to talk about is just this. So when we're done with the call, and that's fine, I'll give you more time to talk. But when we're done with the call, you make sure you listen because my next topic is going to be right up your alley, buddy. But go ahead.
All right. So that's what I'm saying. You know, is he perfect? No. Does he say a lot of things which is not right? I agree. But you know, the fact that is, if people vote him in, there is nothing. That's what this all America about. In that case, Mesfin Bashir is born in Ethiopia. So you know, even if the people vote me in, while we can do that, you know, people decide, people vote. So he is a Republican. No many people, you know, he got all the things done. Hey, you know what? You know, he's not making decisions by himself. There is 3 branches of government.
I agree.
You know, whatever he says is not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So there is a you know, balance, you know, in power. So I think you know, let's give a chance for people to vote for who they want.
No, I definitely agree with you there.
I care less what he says.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there, Bashir. Bashir, how's things out going on the campaign trail? How we doing?
Good. I'm doing great, and I hope you call Michael Moore, and then you know we can sit down with you. You know, you'll be in the middle, and then hey, you know, I like. Yeah, I'm ready for him. So if he's willing to come, you know, just let me know.
I think that he should. I think that they should.
Neighborhood buzzing around. So somehow we'll talk about that too. So just give him a call.
All right, buddy. Glad to have you out there, Mesfin. It's a pleasure to have you.
All right. Thank
All right,
you.
we'll get you back in studio soon. Yes. That was Mesfin Bashir. Now, he's running, just so you know, against Mike Moore. If you're local to me, that's you. And in a few surrounding towns, we're in that district, that Worcester district. We had him on the program last week. You can probably find that online still. If not, then let me know. I can certainly get you a copy. But it was a very inspiring, energetic interview. Let me tell you, Mesfin is not messing around. I'll have him back in studio again. He was a great guest, and I'll tell you, from what I see so far, well, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now, personally, that's where I'm going to slide over to. I vote more conservatively, but I will say that Mike Moore has done some good things for our community. He has. That's facts are facts. You can't get away from them. And also, we could have a very nice and balanced time here on the Freedom Network with both candidates, and I will have no opinion. I will let it just be about their opinions and get their information out there. So, Mesfin touched on something, and I it's like I told him to call at that time. But we're going on to the convention. So ABC had an interesting article that I won't read word for word, but it was a good article. And then I have some commentary as well on it. Let's see what we got. All right, this was from ABC. I know, I've been all over ABC today. Today I was on ABC quite a bit, to be quite honest. I can't, you know what, they all stink. I don't like any of them. But NBC is the worst to me of all of them. It's worse than CNN. It's worse than any of them. To me, they are the most disgusting propaganda machine out there. Excuse me. All right. Okay, here we are. This is from, all right, there may not be a contested convention, but the RNC may have a floor fight on its hands, even if efforts to change the rules fail, according to a group pressing for delegates to vote their conscience during next week's nationally televised roll call. Delegates Unbound, which is a group spearheading efforts to insist delegates can already vote freely for the presidential nomination, has set up shop in downtown Cleveland, just blocks from where the delegates will be. In an interview in their Nerve Center, a room scattered with empty coffee cups and donut boxes, Dane Waters, the head of the group, told ABC News, even if last-ditch efforts attempts to change the rules fail, the roll call vote on the floor of the GOP convention won't be some quiet little rodeo. These individuals are extremely passionate about the right to vote their conscience, so I can't imagine that people are going to sit around and not do anything. They've been working out of their office for 20 days trying to educate delegates. Waters pointed to Rule 37B, which allows delegates to object if they believe their vote was not announced correctly by the state delegation's leader. I'll quote, if a delegate feels a state delegation chair has not properly represented their vote, then that individual has the right to object and demand that their vote be corrected. Most people are not going to sit around and say, okay, that's okay. Now, despite this claim, the GOP convention's current rules state that the secretary must record the vote in line with the delegation's binding, regardless of the vote tally announced by the state delegation chair. Confusing, isn't it? That's on purpose, don't you worry. So, these comments come as another group of partners with delegates Unbound tries to force a vote on the convention floor for a new rule that would unbind delegates. They must win over 28 members of the powerful 112-member convention rules committee to support their cause. Now, Waters said that a victory for their effort isn't merely the incredibly difficult task of getting Donald Trump off the ticket. Instead, he said this is a much bigger issue than just Donald Trump, and he actually sees three possible wins for the specific Stop Trump forces. One, that delegates do vote their conscience and not try to be manipulated, guided, or pushed by the RNC and the Trump campaign. The second would be if delegates stand up and make it clear that not everyone is in lockstep with Donald Trump, and that's where Waters sees the floor could get rowdy. And third and last possible win, which is to be the most difficult, if not impossible, but the Never Trump supporters have pushed for months. Number three is that the delegates freely choose if they were allowed to freely choose. Then, in my opinion, Donald Trump would not be the nominee. Either way, Delegates Unbound are working around the clock to try to ensure delegates don't just fall in line on the convention floor in just days. Okay. Wow. The way I see this is simple, okay? I'm not I wasn't a Trump voter. I didn't vote for him in the primary. I still feel that he's the wrong choice, but the Republican voters have spoken. Now, I'm looking at some other news items as they come across here. I'm just have a search going for, there was a new info from that group that was supposed to come out. Maybe it'll come out before we go off the air. Anyway, the people spoke. They want Trump. That's what they want. Overwhelmingly, they want Trump. If at the convention the party decides that it will say, go to hell with your votes, people. We don't care about your vote. We're going to do what we want to do for the party. And they push another candidate through as the nominee. I'm going to tell you something right now. I will leave the party. Period. End of discussion. In no way will I be part of a party that does not do the bidding of the people. Okay? In no way. The Democrats have the same type of controls through this system. We have a two-party system that is destroying this country. If Trump does not leave the nominee, I'll resign from the Republican Town Committee, and I will unregister as a Republican, and I would do that immediately. Not because I love Trump. In fact, I kind of think he's a joke in many cases, honestly. Folks, I got to be honest with you. But really, it's because the second a party believes that they know better than the people and that they're going to do what they want to do and to hell with you, well, then I got to answer back, to hell with you. And I would think that you should do the exact same thing. They then become useless and also dangerous. And not only to the people's votes, but to freedom in general. And I will not support that. Okay, I will not support that. We have a meeting coming up. I hope I can get to it, the Republican Town Committee. and I am certainly not a quiet, try not to be a quiet person. I joined up and because I wanted to see what kind of differences we could make. And if this is the direction of the party, see you later. See you later. And I'll take as many people possibly as I can possibly take with me. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel. How do you feel? What do you think about that? I mean, why even vote? Maybe we just let the parties go for it, right? These parties have become so powerful, and they use language written into bylaws and things that they've made up and twisted from centuries ago to make it so that this representative republic truly isn't really they're really just representing the party. They're not representing the people. They're not representing what's inside. And what's inside is you and me. And we have a big, big problem, folks, when we see the Democrat clearly declared and given the votes to be the winner through party rules before any votes even happen. And on the Republican side, we've seen what? Canceled voting. We've seen floor challenges that will come, groups that have been set up to do nothing but thwart your vote. Now, I can't stand Obama, but he is the duly elected president unless we're going to have an election fraud conversation. And we can, and yes, I believe election fraud happens, but let's just have a discussion here, okay, folks? And let's just let it be known that votes need to matter. And if your party or any party is saying that your vote doesn't matter, how many of those Democrats that registered as independent do you think are running back to Democrats? And where's Johnson? He's the one that's going to get a bump. I got some polling data, folks, and I was just talking to my father today about this. In fact, he is getting a little bit of a bump. He's starting to show up in polls. He gets on that stage, we could have a real problem. And that's one of the reasons I'm not such a fan of Trump either, is because he so easily could lose this to Hillary. Just like that. He could so easily lose it with just enough rigging and messing around from the media. They are going to do a number on this guy. He's going to be fighting off the media as well as fighting off his opponent, as well as fighting off all the PACs and all that money and all that stuff that we're going to talk about that too. So we have a huge problem here. We have parties that don't give a you-know-what. They don't give a damn about what you said on either side. Our elections and our government is just, it's a money machine now. That's all it is. It's available to be bought by the highest bidder. That's what we have become. We are seeing trillions of dollars spent. We just had a congressional election a few years back with trillions of dollars spent in all the combined presidential elections. Look at the money in politics today. You know, it said that this election could cost billions. We're talking billions. So if you don't have $1 billion or the ability to come by $1 billion, if you can't come by $1 billion, you can't be president. You got to come by $1 billion somehow. There's got to be a way somehow that you're going to get $1 billion. Has to happen. So where does it all come from? We can talk about where it comes from, but let's look at where we are and where we were for a little bit of context here. I took some notes down on my little tablet here. This is quite a thing. It's a computer. It's a full computer. But it works like a tablet. It bends. It comes and it goes. It's great when it works. I love it. All right. Let's see. Let's get some context. Where is my? Hang on. I got an email popping in here. This one comes from Jennifer. It's loading. Okay, there we go. Jennifer says, Gary, great topic. Oh, that's all jumbled up, Jennifer. It's like in some foreign language. I don't know which topic you're talking about. Hang on. I don't know what it is. Jennifer, send it back to me. I don't know if you've got some kind of... It's all crazy. Folks, it's crazy. It's dashes and it's hashes and it's tags and it just... well, whatever the case may be, send back if you'd like to send back. If not, that's okay too. I think they're all great topics, so I'd agree with you. Anyway, in 1960, for example, Nixon and Kennedy spent about $20 million for the presidential run, combined, between two of them. In fact, the first president to spend over $20 million was Nixon In 1968, about $25.4 million he spent. By 76, Ford and Carter spent about $68 million combined, so it was growing. 1980, we break the $100 million election line, with Reagan and Carter spending over $105 million combined. And by the end of 1980, we saw an increase to about $150 million between Bush and the Duke, Mike Dukakis. $150 million bucks. He spent plenty of money to win one state. Oy. In 1992, we broke the $200 million mark with Clinton and Bush, and Bill Clinton was the first $100 million president that we had. Almost $108 million for him, and a paltry $97 million for Bush. Dole, oh boy, he was able to raise only about $67 million bucks to the Clinton machine's $115 million. So in 2000, Bush Jr. got close to $200 million, and Gore got $120 million. That would make and mark the first time that both candidates were made up of over $100 million each. And in 2004, we saw the first $500 million election cycle with Bush and Kerry. And in 2008, we saw Obama brought, this guy like no one before. This guy was bought off like none of these people have been bought off, with a cool $760 million worth of favors to pay back. Poor McCain was only able to raise about $240 million, and of course his favors probably never got paid back. Lastly, in 2012, we say our first $1 billion campaign, with another $737 million worth of favors to pay back for Obama, and close to $500 million for Mr. Romney, who certainly was not able to pay back any of those favors. Those people, I don't get that. Now, folks, what do you think? I mean, how can you not see that this has nothing to do with us, freedom, or America? Nothing. It has nothing to do with us, freedom, or America. It has everything to do with money. Money for them. We'll see between $3 and $5 billion spent on this election. That's my deal. That's what we'll see. $3 to $5 billion probably, all said and done. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's just incredible. I don't understand it. You know, I get invited to a lot of things, okay? And let me toss this out there for y'all, too, okay? I get invited to every day on Facebook. There's another campaign, fundraiser, thing, come, visit, meet the candidates, suggest a donation, this and that. I don't go to any of them. You know why? I don't go. Maybe I'll have to go to Messman's, I don't know. But I don't go because, first of all, if I say yes to one, I feel as though I should say yes to all. But beyond that, I give enough money to government in general. I am not going to pay you, okay? I'm not going to pay you to go to government and then have to pay you some more once you get there. That ain't happening. I don't know why we're doing this. Why do we allow money in politics? Why? Why do we allow it? Why do you allow it? It's stupid. They just buy it off. They go to the media, they brainwash people. And imagine you're looking at running the world, and most people are going to base this decision on 30-second ads. 30-second ads. That's what people are going to base their decision on. They're not going to do research. They're going to listen to what they're told to do. What happened? We just saw England again say screw to an entity that they felt was not properly representing them and that they did not want to be part of anymore. We saw them do this when America was founded. And this seems to be the only country in the world that's got the guts to say goodbye. I think we need to do that again. Folks, you've got to stand up and start to act. And you Sanders voters, as I said, you got to stand back up. Grow up. Dust off the darn shoulders. Get up and fight for this country because you're losing it. I'm telling you, I sit here and scream about this every week, but you are losing America. You're losing it $1 billion at a time. That's what you're doing. USA Today was reporting some poll data. I have a bunch of it. Florida, Trump 42, Hillary 39. Now, June 21st, it was 47-39, Clinton led. Pennsylvania, let's see, tied 41 for both. They were both tied at 41 June 21st. Ohio, Trump 43, Hillary 41, June 21st. They were tied. So here's what's happening. that little scandal seems to be having an effect. Let me jump back to the phone line, and we got an email coming in. We'll see what we got. All right, good evening. You are next on the Freedom Network. How are you?
Hey, I just thought I'd give you a Trump update.
Oh, here he is. It's the Trump man himself. What do you got?
Okay, they already put three platforms in the Republican platform. Number one, we're going to build the wall. Number two, no bad trade deals. And number three, a temporary ban on Muslims from terrorist countries entering America.
How do you even?
To be in the Republican platform.
How do you do it? How do you not have Muslims come in?
Platform. So forget never Trump. They're never going to make it.
Yeah, well, they really do. They are really pushing. They want, and you heard what I said. I mean, you know that he's not my favorite guy. I'll probably wind up voting for him anyway. But you know, he won. Period. End of discussion. He's got to be the nominee. I just don't see any other way around it, unless freedom doesn't mean anything to these people.
Reince Priebus says they're wasting their time because it's not going to happen.
Good. I want it not to happen. I really want it not to happen because as much as I may have some issues with him, he won. We got to grow up. These guys sound like Bernie Sanders. They need a safe place to go because it didn't go their way.
We've had Mitt Romney and John McCain stuffed down our throats. Now it's time for the people's person to be on the ballot.
Who's his VP going to be?
I don't know, but I'm thinking Pence for some reason. I just got that feeling.
You are. All right.
It was pretty good bringing him in the other day. It's going to be between Pence and Newt. I think Newt can help him out in other ways. But see, Pence is from the Midwest.
Yeah.
And he's a very popular guy, and he's a staunch conservative.
That's, I'm going to tell you something. Something's got to go. He's got to get somebody in there to solidify that.
Oh, he wants somebody that knows government.
Yeah, he needs something. It's obvious. I don't know. How do you stop Muslims from coming into the country? What are you going to ask people? And they're going to say, no, I'm not a Muslim. They'll come in anyway.
Obama did it. You don't issue many visas. Just put a temporary hold on visas.
As long as you know they're Muslim. But what if they say they're not Muslim?
Don't worry. This isn't going to be an Obama administration.
Hey, maybe he's going to pick you. Well, maybe you got to get to Washington too.
You know what Trump's administration is going to look like?
What?
It's going to look like that great business, ServPro. Like the last 8 years never happened.
Hey, man, I'm all for it. If he can do some of the things he wants to do, I don't have a problem with a wall. I'd rather see him end some of these stupid wars, bring the troops home, put them on the border, and people cross the border, start shooting. It's an invasion. You can't cross the border. That's it. To me, we got to get serious with this immigration stuff. So I like him on that. The no bad trade deals. What does that mean? See, I think that's some of the issues.
TPP.
Yeah, right. None of that. So you got to go back to NAFTA too.
Whatever else they got to revisit.
That they have to revisit them. I mean, even NAFTA. Just last month, NAFTA's still kicking us in the butt. NAFTA comes with loan guarantees for foreign companies.
Right.
Foreign companies get our money to move jobs there.
Well, you want to hear a good one?
Yeah.
Obama sent taxpayer money to Israel to defeat Netanyahu.
Right.
Opposite guy's campaign.
Right.
What are we doing?
Of course. There's your money at work. And foreign. We have no business there. Let the Israelis elect whoever the hell they want to elect.
That is correct.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Paul, it's unbelievable.
Just a small update. We're just going to let Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the Attorney General and the FBI guy. They're going to win the election for Trump. He's now up by 2 or 3 in Florida, which is about a 10-point turnaround. He's now up in Pennsylvania, which is unheard of, and he's even Steven in Ohio. Any one of them too, and it's over, Hillary.
Yeah, it may well be. Hey, I want the update. Bring it again next week, will you?
Hey, have a good one, Gary.
All right, bud. You know that voice. 3 on 11. He'll be back. Summer flies by. Another 3-4 weeks, right? 5 weeks, probably. They'll be back. I like talking to him. He is big Trump guy. And that's okay. That's what the party picked. So anyway, I got an email from Eric. Eric says, Gary, don't know if you have already discussed this or not, but who you got Trump picking as his VP? We just heard from Paul, Pence, or maybe Newt. Maybe he goes with the big guy, Eric, and Chris Christie. Can I say that? I might have offended somebody. I'm sorry. I don't know. What would I like? I know he's looking at Gowdy for Attorney General, which I think would be fantastic. Probably more effective than putting him in as VP. I don't mind Rand Paul. I think he needs to be, and as Paul alluded to, he needs to be paired up with somebody, right? Eric, that really gets government, but government right. Like that talks about the Constitution, that's read the Constitution front to back, that knows it, that can quote it, that has value in, or sees value in the rights that the American people are supposed to have. I don't hear enough of that being talked about in this election. I just don't. So I'm looking for him to not go with the machine. Go against the machine. Do something bold. Set up the next guy. Let's get something happening. So my top two picks for VP would be probably Gowdy and Rand. But I could see some others. I wouldn't be upset with Newt. I don't think Newt helps him, though. But I don't really have as big an issue with Newt as many other people do. But a lot of people also like Newt, But I think he might be right. Pence might be the guy. Might just be the right guy. He's kind of in that role where he could probably also sit down and talk to Donald Trump, unlike maybe other people could, because Pence certainly isn't afraid of him. You know what I mean? That we all know. So we could see. We shall see, actually. We'll legit see, Eric. But we'll know soon. They are not going to put this off much longer. It's coming. What other polling data do I have? This is what I wanted to talk to you guys about, too. This was what I was talking to Paul about. Now, Real Clear, which is a great place because you can get all the polls at once. General election. Now, these polls go all over. And depending upon the polling company will depend upon the outcome. Because they, like the news business, are biased. Right? There's very few real polls that you can grab in this day and age. And how do they do that? Well, it's the sample, it's where they call, it comes right down to racial profiling and things of that nature, where they think they'll find people to get the outcome that they want. So, but in any event, I see a lot of Clinton plus, Clinton plus, Clinton plus. Where Clinton really starts to go up, though, is where Johnson starts to poll in. And that's because those votes come from Trump. So, for example, right, you've got Clinton they did a general election, Trump versus Clinton. This is a McClatchy-Maris poll. Clinton 42, Trump 39. Now they do general election. Clinton, Trump, Johnson, and Stein. Clinton drops to 40. Trump drops to 35. Johnson kicks in at 10. At 10. 10. He was at 6, I think, last week. And now that gives Clinton plus 5. So she jumps up 2 points when people come into the race. But if you go Florida, Trump, Clinton, they go 42-39 here. Quinnipiac poll. The NBC Wall Street Journal poll, this is so funny, puts Clinton 45, Trump 36. Nowhere else except for NBC. I'm just looking down, and Monmouth there goes up at 13. It's amazing. You go to Gallup, pretty down the middle with their polls, it's a tie. 48, President Obama job approval looks like it's a tie. Rasmussen reports President Obama job approval. His approval is 47. His disapproval is up to 52. This is as of today. That's YouGov. Congressional job approval. Approved 12%. 12%. Disapprove 66%. Direction of the country. Right direction 24%. Wrong track 70%. So 70% of the people feel that the country's on the wrong track. But yet, arguably, half of the people, give or take a few percentage points, that are being polled are going to vote for Hillary Clinton. Well, I don't get it. This is proof that people don't listen. They don't listen to her when she talks, because what she says is her whole campaign is that she wants to continue what the savior. See, Obama is God, okay? She is like Jesus, all right? She's going to be the son of God. And according to Obama, she's more qualified even than Obama is, even more than George Washington or Madison. She's the most qualified human being ever to lead this country. So maybe she's God, and maybe he becomes the baby. I don't know how they're going to work that whole thing out, but in any event, she's been saying she wants to continue what's been going on. She wants to continue the direction of the country. She wants to continue what is happening. 70% of the people don't like what's happening. But yet 50% of the people are going to go vote to keep the same thing happening. Hello? But it's interesting. So there are those that have Trump up. I just want to put that in there. As a matter of fact, the Quinnipiac, Pennsylvania, Trump, Clinton, Johnson, Stein. Trump is up 6 points there. In Ohio, let's see, Trump, Clinton, let's see, Trump's up by 1. I can find all kinds of ones where Trump is up, but what's amazing is, it's just so amazing. All right. And direction of the country on July 11th was 68%. It's up 2 points. It's up two points. Friday the 8th, general election. They took a poll with Clinton and everybody in it. This is Rasmussen poll. Puts Trump at +2. Interesting. It's interesting because as you go further back, folks, you don't see a lot of Trump. But as you come to today, you're starting to see a lot of Trump, either dead heats or Trump actually pulling ahead. And that's because of this stupid scandal. That's what it is. And it's I say stupid because it's so stupid that we're not indicting this woman. I mean, it was clearly said by the FBI that if anybody engages in this behavior, there will be repercussions. But no charges should be filed against Hillary. I mean, did you see Gowdy? Was he fantastic? I wish I had grabbed that. Oh, I wish I had grabbed that. Gowdy was so good. He was so good. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with what's going on here. I really am. I mean, the top picks, Eric, I did pull something up here for you. Top picks are Newt, Chris Christie, Pence, Jeff Sessions, Mary Fallon, and Tom Cotton. For Hillary, they're Tim Kaine and Elizabeth Warren, Miss Brown, Miss Castro, Cory Booker, and Tom Perez. You know, Gingrich is 73 years old. I don't know. Now that's a bad thing. I guess I can't say that either. Looks like Democrats en masse really have no problem giving driver's licenses to illegal aliens. But the governor is against the action, so am I. I mean, if we said we're giving them licenses and then when they got there, like, you know, the free TV thing that the police used to do, that would be great. They could send them home, but that's not what they're doing. As I breeze through this article, I don't get the whole illegal debate. I get that we do not want to split up families and that kind of thing. I get that. I do. I get that we do not want to do that. I don't want to see that happen either. But if you're in the United States illegally, then you really should not be here. And I get it. I fight this on Facebook all the time. I'm sure someone's typing me an email as we speak saying, Gary, but we're all illegal because we stole this land. And I would have to agree. People came here and took the land. They did. But first of all, let's not over-glamorize, okay, what was going on here. Okay, if you're a student of history, you certainly know that while they were peaceable Indians, there were also lots of warring Indians. Lots of wars over what? Land. Stealing each other's land, stealing each other's women and people, killing, wiping out tribes, all kinds of things. What we did was wrong because of the way we did it. Period. America can be wrong. I can certainly say that America's been wrong on a lot of things a lot of times. A lot of times. But the fact of the matter is that we're here. And this is our country at this point. And if you think that you're on stolen land, then get off of it. Go to wherever it is that your ancestry came from and don't live a lie. Because that's what you're doing, is you're living a lie. Because you just want to say, well, you see, we're all illegal aliens. Well, okay, we came. This is, the world was being developed. This is what happened. Do you think that no one would have come here if those terrible Englishmen didn't come here? You think that this land would have just been left to this very day? And we would be in England right now or somewhere in Europe or wherever it is that anybody's from. And we'd be saying, gee, man, wow, that land over there, I wonder what it's like. I mean, get over yourselves, folks. It's 2016. This is the United States of America. And if you're here illegally, you shouldn't be here. Period. And if you have guilt that you feel as though you're squatting on stolen land, then leave it. I could respect that. Anybody could respect that. But to sit there and just have these little, well, you know, we're all on foreign land and none of us really belong here, and take your little nose and look down at somebody else. Okay? We had two big missteps, all right? What we did with the natives that were here when we set up the United States was wrong and awful, okay? And slavery was wrong and awful. And those are two big issues that the United States of America really, slavery we certainly dealt with by having an incredible civil war that was, you know, brother against brother and state against state. It was an awful thing, but a bunch of white people did end slavery. That's the reality of it. Still idiots exist today that would like to continue the hate. I say to hell with them. You don't have to hate it. The best way to not hate anybody is just look at them as Americans. Are you here legally? Yeah, okay, you're an American. You're not a blank American. You're not Afro-American. You're not an Asian American. You're not a European or an Afro. I don't care where you're from. You're American. You're here. You want to be an American? You're going to be in America. So now you're in America. Okay, call yourself an American. How's that? What's wrong with a little pride in the place that feeds you? The place where you came, risked life and limb to come here. Baker said Thursday. This is Shira Schoenberg wrote this. This is from Mass.Live. Baker said Thursday he will file an amendment to the state budget to eliminate a possible loophole that activists said could have opened the door to granting driver's licenses to immigrants who are in the country illegally. Kind of goes on and on. I'm not going to read you the whole thing. We don't have enough time. Let me see something here. Maybe I got time for this. What do I got, about a minute and a half, 2 minutes? Folks, it's a mess out there. And the mess is money. Money. It's corrupted the political system to the tunes of billions of dollars worth of favors that must be paid back. How do we stop this? How do we stop the madness? What do we do to stop everything and to just back out? I want you to send me your emails. We'll go through it on email and online. We only have about 1 minute on the button, right? We're going to get out of here about 59. Maybe you want me out in 30 seconds, probably, knowing them, because, you know, they like it. They run a tight ship around here. All right. Let me leave you with this parting thought, folks. This is the United States of America. You live in it. Be proud of it. Love it. Help make it better. Don't hide in the shadows. Don't get all upset. Take your marbles and go home because Bernie Sanders lost. Stay involved, because one thing about you Sanders voters is you wanted change, and that I can respect. I don't like the change you wanted, but I can respect the outsider status of what you did want. All right? Don't run away and go home. And by all means, let's come up with some fun ideas, and let's get rid of politics being manipulated by money. Let it be manipulated by ideas. Can we do that? Might that be possible? Folks, we've come to the end. I'm sorry. I know. There's a few emails coming in. I'll answer them right after we get off the air. My name is Gary Rosenberg. I am the host of the Freedom Network. We thoroughly enjoy having you out there. Join us again next week.